Good afternoon, Miss Bridgewater.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Hope you are as well.
I am. I am. We have
Good.
a new SAP date, which is June the 12th.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, give us a moment. We still see the guys.
Okay, just let me know. Thank you.
You're ready, Judge.
All right. It's still a little before two, and there are some people that I believe still need to get on, but let me go ahead and address everyone that's in courtroom two. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. If you do not have a private attorney, we're providing you with the assistance of a public defender this afternoon if you choose to utilize their service. Let's see, I do not see the public defenders on the line or the state's prosecutors as of yet, so let me give them an opportunity to hop on. Okay, who do we have in courtroom two?
You have position two.
Okay, Mr. Bancroft, who's representing Mr. Bancroft this afternoon?
I am, Your Honor.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Tadaya.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Bancroft, good afternoon. You have been charged in case 25 CR 003042C with battery, family violence, criminal trespass, and simple battery against a police officer. Is there a history? Good afternoon, Mr. Howard.
Hey, first,
Thank you. Who's presenting? Ms. Harrison, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This incident occurred on January 20th, 2025. Officers arrived at 2410 Harbor Landing in response to an attempted suicide, where there was an ongoing physical altercation between a father and a son. They met with Mr. Michael Bancroft, who was actively subduing his son due to these threats of trying to jump off of a ledge of their apartment. Um, Mr. Bancroft was actually like positioned on top of him, physically holding his hands. Officers observed bruising and abrasion on Mr. Bancroft's face and noticed a hole in the wall. And it was just drywall holes from damages from the scuffle that ensued between the two. Mr. Bancroft stated that the altercation occurred when he attempted to stand in front of the doorway, and his son punched him in the face. And that's when he was able to get in that position, and the officers were able to intervene. Um, we spoke to Mr. Bancroft today. There were some concerns of MH issues since the incident. The defendant has been seeking treatment ongoing. And Mr. Bancroft stated that his son is not violent towards him. This only happened due to him trying to stop him from hurting himself, but the incident stemmed from a breakup with a longtime girlfriend. Um, Yeah, they stated he's been doing a lot better. He's been living with him since this incident and there hasn't been any other issues. This was a one-time occurrence. So he would like to continue contact with the defendant and he wants him to return to the residence. The state's recommendation is um we did a $1,500 surety bond. We're asking for no further violent contact with the victim, Mr. Bancroft here. Since he's already back living at the residence, we weren't going to ask for a stay away, but we would like for the defendant to comply with all of the treatment that he's been receiving and medication that he currently has. And we will sound for Mr. Bancroft at this time. Your Honor, that'll be all for the state.
What is
Oh,
the first name, Miss Harrison? What is the first name?
Michael Bancroft.
If Michael Bancroft is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. I see a Jan Bancroft on the line. I'm not sure.
I'm on here as owner. I don't know why my name isn't showing up, but I'm on here,
Oh,
sir.
okay. Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Bancroft. Can you raise your right hand for me, please, sir? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down. Thank you, sir. What would you like to tell the court?
Pretty much what the lady was just saying is what happened was he was emotional from a breakup of like a year and a half. You know, his only main relationship he had ever had with a girlfriend, and she had like just a very rude breakup with him, from going from in love to nothing to do with him whatsoever. And so he was distraught and, you know, wanted to, like she said, wanting to kill himself. So the struggle was me trying to prevent him from trying to hurt himself. Was the whole reason for the struggle, was just trying to prevent him from hurting himself. And then in the meantime, he was taken to Children's Hospital and then to Ridgeview, where he was there as an inpatient for 9 days. And then when he got out of Ridgeview, we had made arrangements for him to go to outpatient at Hillside for 6 weeks. And now we are currently meeting with counselors from Hillside that come to us twice a week for 2 hours a week. He has been 100% day and night, doing great since he had the counseling at Hillside for the 6 weeks. It was a DBT training because he does have anger management issues, and this treatment was just phenomenal. Really helped him a lot. And then one other thing I wanted to mention while I can is he's on quite a bit of medication. And I'm concerned that there's a way to hopefully he can get his medication while he's at the jail for the next day or whatever it is, because he doesn't do well without the medication that he's on.
How old is Tyler, Mr. Bancroft?
He's 17. He just turned 17 in December.
Okay. And he's living at your home on Harbor Landing, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And everything since this allegedly occurred back in January, everything settled down since that time?
Absolutely no incidents whatsoever since that time, sir. Like I said, the DBT training at Hillside was amazing as far as the help that they gave him. Because he's adopted, so he has self-esteem issues and things like that. And from this training, it's helped him with his self-worth and just helped him tremendously. It's a medical condition that he's received a tremendous amount of help with, and we're just really getting along great now. And we were really fine until the incident. It was just something that kind of made him snap when he had great self-esteem because of the fact that it was felt like he had love and something and things like that in his life that was just snatched away, and he just didn't handle it well.
All right. I'm glad that he's doing better. I'm going to release him into your custody. Are you willing to be to accept him and to come sign him out?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay. Give me your full name, please.
My name is Michael Edward, Edward Bancroft.
Okay. So I'll release him into your custody, Mr. Bancroft, which means that you will have to sign him. Mr. Chataya, did you have something that you wanted to? Thank you
Yes,
for being
Your
here,
Honor.
Mr. Bancroft. Let me hear from Mr. Chataya. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Your Honor. I also got in touch with his mother, Miss Bancroft, and she's also willing to co-sign him out of jail. I already sent her the co-sign form and the link that she could sign. So I was wondering if we could add to the order that Mrs. Bancroft could also sign him out. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine with the court. Do they live in the same household?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, where is Tyler going to be living?
He'll be staying with me.
Okay, so I don't care which one of you signs him out. So I'll put both of your names on the form. If nothing further, Mr. Chatai, I'm going to send him through pretrial. So I'm going to give him a signature bond through pretrial. Which means, Mr. and Ms. Bancroft, that you won't have to pay anything to get him out. So for the battery, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For each of the other charges, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 makes for a total of a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Parental co-signer. No further violent contact with Mr. Bancroft. He's to comply with the current treatment plan that he's under, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond, but he's to remain on any prescription medications that he is currently on. Okay. I appreciate you all being here this afternoon. Good luck to you, Tyler. If nothing further, you all take care.
Thank
Your Honor, is there any
you.
way to make sure he's able to get his medicine, or how soon will he be able to be out today or whenever?
He may not be out until later tonight or tomorrow. Mr. Chataya, if you will assist, I take it that you have Miss Bancroft's number, so if you can make any arrangements, the court would appreciate it.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, very good. Yes, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you, Your
You're
Honor.
welcome. Yes, who do we have next?
Next is position 5, Mr. Fowler.
Good afternoon, Mr. Fowler. You've been charged in case 25 CR 003045D with 2 counts of battery family violence. It's my understanding that this is Mr. Fowler's first arrest. Yes, Ms. Harrison.
Yes, Your Honor, this incident occurred on May 28th. The incident address is 957 Roosevelt Drive Southeast. Officers responded in reference to a physical dispute between siblings. They met with the parents at the location, Ms. Lynette Fowler and Waukesha Barnes. The victim here is a minor. He is 11 years old. We'll give him the initials JH. They are brothers. The parties were at home on this particular day. The youngest child, JH, was at school and was sent home early. So the parents brought him home to be taken care of by the defendant. The defendant advised officers that yes, he was watching his brother throughout the day, and his brother was trying to sneak out of the window, and he found him in the neighborhood, and he brought him back to the house and subsequently spoke with him and proceeded to discipline him. Officers spoke with the parents, and they advised that they did not give him permission to physically correct his brother. But they left him with him while they would return to work for that day. And when they came home, JH had visible busted lip and bruises on his body. And it was discovered that he was struck with a belt and struck with closed fists. We did speak with the mother today, Miss Lynette Fowler. She stated that both the victim and the defendant have some behavioral issues. She's trying to work with the both of them. She did state that the defendant was just released back home from DFAC's custody, and she would like for him to return to the residence with no violent contact with his brother. I believe she's joined us in court today. But the state's recommendation in this case is a signature bond. We'll ask for no further violent contact with the victim, JH, a 1-day anger awareness class for the victim. And we'll sound for Miss Fowler at this time. And that'll be all for the state, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Fowler, I see you on the line. If you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. I'll need for you to unmute yourself and activate your camera for me. Who's representing Josiah this afternoon? Mr. McLean,
Mr. Shataya. I don't know
Mr.
if you know.
Chitaya? Mr. Chitaya, are you with me?
Yes, I'm here, Your Honor. Excuse me.
Okay, okay, I just want to make sure that you're with us. You represent Mr. Fowler, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor. No
Okay.
objection to the state's recommendation for a signature bond.
Okay, let me hear from Ms. Lynette Fowler, first. Ms. Fowler, good afternoon. If you could raise your right hand for me, please, ma'am. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You can place your hand down. What would you like to tell me about Josiah?
I just need him to understand that when he is supervising his brother, that he does not have permission to physically discipline him. So, as long as we can get that clear understanding, then I'm willing to allow him to come home. I just can't have any of the activity that happened yesterday happen again.
Has this been a problem in the past?
The physical part has not been a problem, but they have had behavioral issues that I was concerned that it would escalate to this point.
How old is Josiah?
Josiah 17.
Okay. If I do give him a signature bond, I'm going to require that you be a parental co-signer, ma'am. So is that something that you're willing to do? You'll have to sign him out.
That's fine.
Okay, and this is your correct spelling of your name that's on the that's here, Lynette Fowler, is that correct?
Yes, that's fine.
All right, I appreciate you being here this afternoon, Miss Fowler. Mr. Chitaya, if it's okay with you, for each charge will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, makes for a total of a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further violent contact with the alleged victim. He is to have a parental co-signer, Lynette Fowler, no drugs, alcohol, weapons, while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Fowler. You as well, Ms. Fowler. Who do we have next?
Next is position 19, Ms. Ware.
Good afternoon, Ms. Ware. You have been charged in case 25 CR 003030G with simple battery family violence. Is there history, Mr. Howard?
7/20/24 FTA, just drug and driving charges. Wanted out of Marietta.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Ham.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Your Honor, this case stems from an event that happened on May 28, 2025 at 1000 Collier Road, Northwest, between Miss Ware and her boyfriend, Cornelius Wesley, Carnelius Wesley. The police were called by a neighbor indicating that there was a fight in an apartment above hers. The police officers went to that location. They observed the victim, Mr. Wesley, with swellings on his face and his nose bleeding. Mr. Wesley and claims he doesn't know how that happened. They indicated they were engaged in a fight, an argument, because Mr. Wesley had broke a frame. Police, however, were able to determine that there was actually something else going on there and that she was injured by Miss Ware. Due to the fact that Miss Ware has a failure to appear and a pending hold, the state is asking for $1,000, $1,500 surety bond to have no further contact at this point with Mr. Carlos Wesley, and I do believe he is present online. To addition to that, to have no drugs, weapons, or alcohol on her person.
Okay.
I'm
Mr.
sorry,
Wesley,
filing
oh, go ahead, Mr.
Wesley.
Hammond.
Apologize.
No, you're fine. Mr. Wesley, I see you on the line. If you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. I'll need for you to activate your camera for me. Yes, sir. If you can raise your right hand for me, please, and take off your hat for me. Okay. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can place your hand down, Mr. Wesley. What would you like to tell the court?
I just wanted to tell you that it was just I guess we was a little loud. It was just a heated argument. Uh, and if you could be so kind as just to give a signature bond.
Okay, stand still for me, Mr. Wesley, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, so has this happened before?
No, sir.
And do you all live together?
Yes.
Are you afraid of her?
No, sir.
Okay. Anything else that you'd like to tell the court, Mr. Wesley?
No, that'll be all.
Okay, thank you for being here this afternoon, sir.
Well,
Who's representing Ms. Ware?
I'm Your Honor.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Tucker.
Good afternoon. Ms. Ware is 33 years of age. She does have ties to the community. She's resided in the area on and off for the last 10 years. She's employed. She does work for Uber as well as iShop. She's obtained her high school education. Her and the alleged victim, they do reside together. He has not requested that they have no physical contact with each other. They have both insisted that there was no physical encounter in this incident. So we are requesting a signature bond, or if not possible, the lowest possible bond.
Okay. It will be a $500 good bond, no further violent contact with Mr. Wesley, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond, and 1 day of anger awareness. Good luck to you, Ms. Ware. You as well, Mr. Wesley.
thank you.
You're welcome. Who do we have next?
In 14, Mr. Scott.
Good afternoon, Mr. Scott. You have been charged in case 25 CR 003038C with willful obstruction of law enforcement officers, disorderly conduct, giving false information to law enforcement officer, possession of marijuana less than an ounce, and possession and use of drug-related objects. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
10th arrest, 2023 obstruction conviction, 2022 probation, 18 selling marijuana conviction, 2014 burglary arrest, 2011 FTA. He has a probation hold.
Good afternoon, Mr. Soroka.
Good afternoon, Judge. This incident took place May 27th of this year at 7800 North Point Parkway in Alpharetta. Law enforcement responded to a drug investigation call regarding someone potentially smoking marijuana from the trunk of a gray Tesla of the Chili's at the location. Upon arrival, the officer made contact with the defendant and detected the odor of marijuana emitting from the Tesla that the defendant was standing behind. When asked for his name, he gave the false name of George Ashton Brown with a date of birth of December 8th, 1989, and told the officer his ID was from New York. The officer conducted a check on the information, nothing came back. Several attempts later, the officer detained him and used a fingerprint scanner, which revealed his actual name and date of birth, which were different than what was given. The defendant admitted in the patrol car that he had violated the officer and gave a false name to conceal that he had an active arrest warrant. search incident to arrest, found his driver's license, passport, birth certificate, and social security card. While attempting to place him into custody, he made his body limp, rigid, and dead weight, causing the officers to drag him into the patrol unit. He was taken to North Fulton Hospital for medical eval due to him deliberately slamming his head into the roof pillar of the patrol unit on the transport. While at North Fulton Hospital, getting medically cleared, he repeatedly stated in a loud tone of voice in the presence of doctors, nurses, staff, that he wanted women to suck his DICK. The officers also located roughly 21 grams of suspected marijuana in his vehicle in separate bags, as well as an open box of sandwich bags, a package of rolling papers, and a scale. I believe pretrial covered most of the offenses here. I do see took Nolo to marijuana possession and giving false info in 2007. And I believe he had received first offender treatment, for giving false information to law enforcement, and purchase, possession, distribution, sale of marijuana in 2012. That was Gwinnett County. But he's also being held without bond on a probation violation. That's 25 PV 001099 for that 22 SC 181 238 case, which is the obstruction conviction. Given the open probation violation and with his previous convictions, this is neither his first obstruction case nor his first case involving drugs. He presents a risk of reoffense here. The state's recommendation is thus a $500 surety for each count. A social worker visit we think would be appropriate for BHET and MHET. Stay away from North Fulton Hospital and the address is 3000 Hospital Boulevard in Roswell, unless receiving medical treatment, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
Thank you, Ms. Tucker.
Yes, Mr. Scott is 35 years of age. He's resided in the Atlanta area for 6 years now. He has maintained employment doing Uber and Lyft, as well as working as an auto engineer. He has obtained his GED, and he does have 3 children residing in the area as well. We are requesting the lowest possible bond, if a signature bond is available. We are requesting it as well.
Okay, it'll be a $500 good bond on each charge, makes for a total of a $2,500 good bond. Social worker visit to assess for a BHET, stay away from the incident location unless he's receiving medical treatment, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Scott. Your client has his hand up, Ms. Tucker. Mr. Scott, if you have a question about the bond, Ms. Tucker will be in touch with you after court today. Feel free to ask her any questions that you have regarding that at that time. Ms. Tucker, if you can contact him at some point.
It's not a bond, sir.
If it's about something we previously discussed, I can be in contact with you.
I didn't hear.
She's going to call you, Mr. Scott. Okay. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. And let me just address everyone that's on the line. I appreciate you all being here this afternoon, but this is an official court proceeding. I will need for you to treat this proceeding as if you are actually in court with me, which means that if you're a man, I need for you to take your hat off. If you're a man or a woman, I need for you to cover your shoulders. I'm happy to hear from you when I get around to your case, but I'll need for you to make sure that you're not moving around, Ms. Griffin, because that's distracting to the court. If you're going to move around, go off camera for me. Okay? Happy to have you here, but treat yourselves as if you are actually in a courtroom with me. Okay, and I'm not, whoever's on the Nokia, I'm not so, I don't know how old that child is, but I'm not so, sure how appropriate it is to have that child at these court proceedings, especially if someone that he knows is in jail. So I'll just make that note to you, who's ever on the Nokia. All right, who do we have next?
Next is position 16, Mr. Spivey.
Good afternoon, Mr. Spivey. You have been charged in case 25 CR 003040E with fare evasion and 2 counts of willful obstruction of law enforcement officers. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
On probation for burglary, theft by taking 24 SC 005894, 2023 probation, 2014 shoplifting conviction, and a 2014 burglary conviction.
Thank you. Mr. Soroka?
Thank you, Judge. This incident took place May 27th of this year at 680 Lee Street. It's the West End MARTA station in Atlanta. While patrolling that West End station, law enforcement observed the defendant gain access to the station without paying the required fee. The officers conducted a check, and while they were doing that, the defendant was actively resisting arrest. Or one of the officers was, but they were both attempting to arrest the defendant. He was pushing off of them and tried to flee while they were attempting to place him in handcuffs. He was ultimately arrested. Yes, as stated, he does have that burglary in the first and theft by taking conviction. That was just this year, 2025. I also want to note, it looks like when we ran his history today, still, I'm not sure what location this is out of because of the way this came up, but it appears he's still wanted out of somewhere from August 5th, 2022. It doesn't appear he's being held on this, but I just want to make note of that. State's asking for a split bond here, $500 surety on each willful obstruction count and a signature bond through pretrial for the fare evasion. Stay away from the West End MARTA station at 680 Lee Street in Atlanta. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
Ms. Tucker?
Yes. So Mr. Spivey is 50 years of age. He was supposed to be heading to Trinity Transitional Housing tomorrow, or today rather, because he was arrested yesterday. He has been in the Atlanta area for over 10 years now. He has obtained his GED. He has no issue with staying away from the incident location. He has been banned from the MARTA station. So we are requesting a signature bond and no objection to the rest of the state's recommendation.
Okay, for each charge will be a $250 good bond, makes for a total of a $750 good bond. Abide by any MARTA suspensions, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Spivey.
Next is position 1, Mr. Atkins.
Good afternoon, Mr. Atkins. You have been charged in case 25 CR 003039A with battery family violence and simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
At least 30. 2024 felony probation, 2021 robbery arrest, 2020 simple battery DV, 2019 and 17 probation, 2013 FTA, 2010 battery NOLO, and he got violent conviction from the 90s.
Thank you, Ms. Harrison.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred on May 27th. Officers responded to 2301 Godby Road in response to a dispute between a father and his daughter. They made contact with the victim, Miss Aubrey Atkins. The witness was also there, Miss Jacquees. Miss Atkins stated that her father, the defendant, called her and asked her for some money. She gave him the money because he cleaned out her car. And she later received a text message from his girlfriend instructing her to go pick up her belongings from their house. She went to their apartment, which is apartment E16. The address location is an apartment complex. She went there to retrieve her items, and when she got there, her father lunged at her, grabbed her by the throat, picked her up, and threw her over the patio. He then jumped over the patio and began punching her and choked her. We spoke to I'm sorry. The officer spoke to the witness, and she corroborated Miss Atkins' account. She confirmed that Miss Atkins lives with her at another apartment in the complex, and she went to her father's apartment to get her belongings, and she witnessed the defendant grab Miss Atkins by her throat, throw her over the patio, jump over, and choke her and punch her. We did speak to the victim today. She stated that she is the daughter of the defendant. They do not live together. They do live in the same apartment complex. Her apartment is B24, and he resides in E16. She stated that her dad was upset because she mentioned that they were stealing her belongings, and that's when he attacked her. She did state that he placed his arms around her neck and applied pressure. Um, and that this is the first time he has been violent towards her. She does not want any further contact with him at all and wants him to stay away from her residence, which would be apartment B24. The state's recommendation is a $2,000 surety bond. We're asking for no contact with the victim, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond, a stay away from the incident location, apartment B24. I'm sorry, not the incident location, apartment B24 at 2301 Godby Road. And we'll sound for the victim at this time. That'll be all for the state.
Ms. Akins, if you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. If you'll raise your right hand for me, please, ma'am. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay, what would you like to tell the court?
Yeah, he didn't call me asking me for any money. I gave him.
Ms. Akins, we're having difficulty hearing you. We're having feedback from you. If you're in a vehicle, I need for you to pull that over. We can't hear you.
Okay, I'm pulling over now. Is this better?
Yes, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
He didn't call me asking me for any money. I gave that to him willingly. And when he got home is when he got to the lady's house, his girlfriend's house, is when I guess she was upset. I don't know what for, but they do this all the time. And he texted my phone and was telling me to come get my stuff. She texted my phone with numerous things telling me to come get my things. I let them know that I didn't know my stuff was still there, so I went to get my stuff. And yes, they had been stealing and selling all of my things. So it was just a little bit of my stuff left. I went to get it, and as I'm talking, I'm telling them that my stuff is gone. Where's my stuff? She sent my father out there, and that's when he started choking me and throwing me and like just fighting on me. He's never put his hands on me. He's always threatening or bucked up, like act like he wanted to, but he's never put his hands on me. So this shocked me.
It's my understanding that you want him to stay away from you at this time and stay away from your apartment. Is that correct?
Yes, I do. I have a newborn child, and he's dangerous. I do not want him. I don't want to see him.
Okay. Thank you for being here this afternoon, ma'am. Mr. Chataya?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Atkins is 58 years old. He's lived in Atlanta for the past 20 years and he has family in the area. He finished high school and he did 1 year of college doing basic classes. And for the past 2 years, he's worked at a landscaping company doing landscaping. And no objection to the state's request for no further contact or stay away. He does not live at B24, is my understanding. So for those reasons, I ask the court to consider the lowest possible bond.
For each charge will be $1,000 good bond, makes for a total of a $2,000 good bond. No further contact with the alleged victim. Stay away from her residential location. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you both.
Next is position 6, Mr. Hemby.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hemby. You have been charged in case 25CR003047A with 2 counts of criminal trespass and simple battery against a police officer. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
48. On probation for ag stalker. 2020 trespass family violence conviction. 2019 criminal damage to property second degree conviction. 2019 simple battery DV conviction. 2019 disorderly conduct conviction. I got 2 2017 simple battery DV convictions. Shit, actually it's 3. 2017 battery DV conviction. 2014 criminal damage to property second degree conviction. That's it.
Thank you. Ms. Harris?
Yes, Your Honor, this incident occurred on May 27th at 430 Royal Creek Drive. In reference to a domestic disturbance, officers met with Ms. Jeanne Murr, the victim. She stated that her house had been broken into by the defendant. She had observed him in the area and tried to hide the fact that she was home. She tried to move her car to an alternate location, doubled back to her house and locked the doors. She put a bar behind the door and acted like she wasn't home. The defendant banged on her door and screamed on her door for her to let him in. She stated that she tried to ignore him as he banged on the door, and then she heard a loud noise and saw a fire hydrant cover that had been on her front porch was inside her house, and her glass sliding door to the porch was shattered. She ran outside the house at that point and called the police. When police arrived, they observed the defendant inside the house sleeping on the living room couch. Once at the jail, the defendant did tell officers he was intoxicated, and he also made claims of wanting to hurt himself. We spoke to the victim today. She confirmed that her and the defendant are divorced. He was just released from prison actually on Monday and was upset because of some money or JPay issue with the prison. The victim believes he was having an MH crisis. And she stated that once he gets in this state, like there is no stopping him. So she was calling the police to get him some help. She's not in fear of him, but she does not know what to do with him at this point. And she just stated she really believes he needs help, and really has no position on how he really can fare. She joined us in court here today, but the state's position is $1,000 surety bond. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. We're asking for a stay away from the incident location. No further violent contact with the victim, but we're also asking for a social worker visit to conduct a MHET and determine if there are any resources available as far as treatment for the defendant. And that'll be all for the state. We'll sound for Ms. Murray at this point.
Ms. Murr is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Mr. Chataya?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Hemby would like to ask for the lowest possible surety bond. He's 48 years old. He's a lifelong resident of Atlanta. He's a high school graduate. And my understanding is that he recently left prison. He does not have a job and would not be able to afford the bond the state is asking for. So for those reasons, I ask for the lowest possible bond.
Okay, for each criminal trespass will be a $500 good bond. For the simple battery, $1,000 good bond, makes for a total of a $2,000 good bond. No further contact with the alleged victim. Stay away from the incident location. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Hembree. Oh, also, I want a social worker visit to assess for VHET.
Good afternoon, Judge Morrow. I hope you're doing well.
I am, Francois. I hope you are as well.
Thank you. I have position number 13, Ms. Roush.
Okay, and
Oh,
let me,
also, please read their rights. Thank you.
okay. Good afternoon, ladies. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. We're providing you with the assistance of a public defender this afternoon if you choose to utilize their service. Ms. Roush, you've been charged in case 25 CR 003037C with battery, family violence, simple battery, family violence, and cruelty to children in the third degree. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
9th, 2025, suspended license. I didn't see any violent arrest.
Thank you. Mr. Sirocco?
Thank you, Judge. This incident took place August 9th, 2024 at Grand Oaks Apartments, located at 835 Legacy Oaks Circle in Roswell. Law enforcement responded to a domestic dispute call. The reporting party, Shantae Thornton, called the police, explaining the defendant, her sister, had hurt their mother. The victim in this case, Miss Joan Hare, that's Hair. The officer made contact with Miss Hare, who explained that the defendant, her daughter, had come to the location to pick up her juvenile, the defendant's juvenile, initials WP, to take him to his other grandmother. A defendant was on the phone on the patio screaming, and when the victim asked her to be quieter and close the door, defendant came inside, screamed at her, saying never slam the door on her again. The victim went to the bedroom where the juvenile was and told the defendant she wasn't in the right mind to be taking the child, given the anger. She was on the bed holding the child and held her left arm straight out toward the defendant to try and stop the defendant from grabbing that child in her state. The defendant grabbed the victim's wrist with enough force to break the skin, causing scratches, and then grabbed the juvenile. The victim explained that the defendant also struck her in her upper rib cage, when she reached out to try and stop her. The officer observed 2 fresh, still bleeding scratches on the victim's left wrist that appeared to be from fingernail marks. The child at the time was 6 years old, and a warrant was issued for the defendant's arrest. I do see, in terms of recent arrests, driving while license suspended or revoked. That was this year, and just as well this year also I see a fugitive from justice for a fingerprintable charge that's out of Chatham County. We have spoken with the victim in this case, confirmed she's the mother of the defendant. They don't live together. Stated the defendant was not paying attention to her son, and the victim had come and asked her to interact with her son. Apparently the defendant blew up and began yelling at her, and she explained the defendant began hitting her. She has not seen or spoken to the defendant since this incident, with what sounds like the exception of the defendant calling her from jail recently. She's asking for no violent contact with the defendant, and she should be on the line. We ask the court sound for her when appropriate. Given the fugitive from justice arrest from this year, the defendant does present a risk of failing to appear. State is therefore asking for $1,000 surety on the battery family violence, $500 surety on each of the remaining 2 counts. No further violent contact with Joan Hare. Stay away from Grand Oaks Apartments at 835 Legacy Oaks Circle in Roswell. And no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
And Ms. Hare, if you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity. I'll need for you to raise your right hand for me, please, ma'am. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do so swear.
You can place your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
This was a very difficult situation, sir. It was very volatile emotionally. There was no previous history of violent behavior from my daughter. She's had some problems in the past, but we've always been able to overcome them. She's been working very hard. The lack of contact with her was extremely distressing. I have not been able or allowed to see my grandson, her son, in the last almost year. I feel that this is an episode that really fractured our relationship. There have been no previous violent episodes with her, but I was concerned at the time and am still concerned about her state of mind, about her volatility. She's a very hard worker. She's got a very good heart. She's my daughter. I love her dearly. I would like an opportunity to repair, if possible, this relationship. To have an adult child fractured from you is heartbreaking, and especially the lack of contact with my grandson. But I'm not sure where to start because I have not heard or spoken to her, had any contact in the last several months. She's been very angry with me for various reasons. I'm not sure what all has triggered this, but I am concerned and I don't like this fracture in our family. The episode was very distressing. My concern was that if she reacted in that fashion, she presented a danger not only at that point in time to her son, who I know she loves dearly, but also to herself for that lack of control. It's concerning. But I don't know much about her last few months. She's been living down in the Savannah area. And as I said, I've had no contact with her since December. It's very hard.
Yeah, we appreciate you being here. Mr. McLean.
Thank you, Your Honor. Looking at the PSA, the Public Safety Assessment, I do note that the FDA being spoken of, the failure to appear in court, says it's older than 2 years. And I think that would be the basis of the, I believe it's a traffic matter down there in the Chatham, Rincon area. I'm not sure if Rincon is actually in Effingham County or Chatham, but regardless, Your Honor, she has been in Georgia all her life, went to high school in Cherokee County, finished. She's been giving in-home caregiving to an elderly gentleman who died this year, but she took care of him for a good while and did a good job of it. Now she's working at a place that's like a racetrack, different brand, and she has got a job offer to become a manager at one of the other brands up here in the Atlanta area. So she will be moving. She gets good mail service at her current address as shown on the 3 card and the PSA, but when she moves, then she will appear at the office with ID to give the new address. We would ask the court under these circumstances, it did happen last August 2024, whatever it was, we would ask the court to consider a state bond.
Judge, I do have I see that fugitive from justice arrest being from 2025. I see maybe it's the original one, the original charge underlying being potentially from 2022, but the arrest as GCIC presents is from 2025.
You have some clarity for me, Mr. Howard?
One moment.
Say it again.
One moment. One moment.
Okay.
I'm looking it up now. This warrant comes from where? This current charge, is this Roswell?
Yes.
Okay, so the fugitive from justice is for this charge. She was arrested on May 24th in Chatham County, Savannah, and she had a fugitive warrant, which is this. If you look at the GCIC, it says fugitive from justice for fingerprintable charge, Roswell PD.
Okay, thank you.
I was wrong in my assumption about it being from down there then. Thank you.
We both had it the wrong way. Appreciate you.
All right. So if nothing further, for the battery, it will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. For each of the other charges, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2, makes for a total of a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. If, given that this is a mother and a daughter, and given that the alleged offense date was almost a year ago, if they want to have contact, I will have them have no further violent contact, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you both.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Okay, so I see that we have the interpreter on the line. Do we know who needs to go into courtroom? I take it that that's who requires the interpreter in courtroom 1. Is that right?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, so who's the attorney that's representing?
I am.
Okay, so Ms. Tucker, I'll place you, and Madam Interpreter, thank you for being here this afternoon. We appreciate it. In courtroom 1 into a breakout room.
You're
Okay.
welcome, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Okay, and while they're doing that, where would you all like me to go? Courtroom 2?
Position 7.
Okay. Pronounce your last name for me, sir.
Pacho.
Yes, good afternoon. You have been charged in case 25 CR 003048E with 2 counts of cruelty to animals. Do you have a history, Mr. Howard?
5th arrest on probation for obstruction. Possession of a knife or a firearm during the commission, sale of marijuana. 24 SC 001516. 2017, afraid dismissed. That's it.
And who's representing him this afternoon?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, and just want to make sure that we're getting them placed into this breakout room. Okay. Yes, Ms. Harrison.
Yes, Your Honor. Officers arrived on April 8th at 2025 to a call about a witness of someone abusing their dog. They arrived on the scene and met with a witness who saw the defendant pick a dog up by its neck and throw the dog into the back of the truck, as well as kick the dog multiple times while the dog was lying on the ground. The witness she saw all of this, and she approached the defendant and began to yell at him to give her the dog. And originally he said no, he could do what he wanted because it was his dog. He ultimately handed the dog over to the witness when the witness threatened to call the police. The dog has since remained in her care. At that time, the witness went back to this happened in front of a pet supply store, and spoke with the owner. So the police spoke with the owner as well, and they were able to review footage from the property video surveillance camera. And on the video footage, they observed Mr. Aficio, the defendant, kicked the dog after realizing the dog couldn't jump in the back of the truck from the side of the pickup truck. He then digs through things in the back of the truck and tells the dog again to try to jump in the truck, and the dog does. The dog then suddenly lays down, and then the defendant kicks the dog, and then he walks to the front of the truck, and the dog follows him and tries to jump in the front seat of the truck. And then the defendant grabs the door handle and shuts the door repeatedly on the dog multiple times. Then ultimately picks the dog up by his tail and lifts the dog into the air. And then he's also seen on video surveillance grabbing the dog by the back of the neck and throwing him into the truck. And the witness here observed the end of this incident. Our recommendation today is a $2,000 surety bond. We're asking for the defendant to surrender all ownership of any pets he may have and for him to be prohibited from owning any live animals. We're asking for a one-time anger awareness class. and a stay away from the incident location, which again would be the pet supply store that he was known to frequent. And that'll be all from the state, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. McLean.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Faccio is 24. He graduated from a local high school and then had further education in HVAC work. He is currently starting a company in which he has a pressure washer, and does that kind of work. He has also been a chef in restaurants and handled freight logistics. Looking at the PSA, basically we would ask the court to consider under these circumstances a signature bond. If that is not possible, then a 1,000 total surety bond with appropriate conditions.
Okay, for each charge will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2, makes for a total of a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2, 1-day anger awareness, relinquish all animals, have no animals while out on bond, no drugs, alcohol, weapons, also while out on bond. Good luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Position number 4, Coleman.
Good afternoon. You have been charged in case 25 CR 003043A with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Fifth arrest. Got an open ag assault, hit and run, criminal damage to property out of Clayton County. Open criminal damage to property, first degree in Fulton, 24 PI 008477. That's it.
Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. On May 27, officers were dispatched to 4060 Summer Led Trail in Fulton County, East Point, Georgia, in reference to a fight call. Upon arrival, they made contact with Zarvira Smith, the victim, who stated she'd been involved in a physical altercation with her sister. And she told officers at the time her sister was attempting to flee out the back door of the residence. Officers proceeded to the rear of the residence and they observed the defendant attempting to run from the house. They gave her a command to stop and she complied. She told officers that she was fleeing because her sister was continuously trying to attack her prior to them arriving. Officers spoke again with the victim and she informed them that the altercation stemmed from an ongoing argument alleging from the defendant stealing 2 pairs of luxury shoes from her residence in Clayton County. He stated that she'd repeatedly asked her to return the shoes, but she'd been ignored. On this particular day, Miss Smith and her mother, Miss Hall, who witnessed the incident, came over to this residence to visit Miss Smith's grandmother's, Miss Smith and the defendant's grandmother. When they arrived, Miss Smith noticed the defendant watching from the window, and the defendant ultimately came outside holding a broomstick and began yelling cuss words at her sister, Miss Smith, and stated that she wanted to fight. They just began to start fighting. When police arrived, as I stated, the defendant was attempting to leave, but Miss Hall pretty much corroborated Miss Smith's claim that the altercation started from Miss Coleman attempting to strike Miss Smith first. We spoke to Miss Smith here, and she stated that her and the defendant are sisters. They don't live together. The incident location is their grandmother's residence. The defendant does live there with the grandmother. The defendant has been violent with her in the past, but this is the first time police have been involved. She does not wish to have any contact with her sister at this time, but she does want to be able to visit her grandmother's home. She'll be okay with no further violent contact in that regard, so she's still able to visit the home. The state's recommendation is $1,000 surety bond. We're asking for no further violent contact with Miss Smith, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond, and that'll be all for the state. Will sound for Miss Smith at this time.
Smith is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Mr. Chataya?
Thank you, Your Honor. We'd ask the court to consider a signature bond, otherwise the lowest surety amount possible. Ms. Coleman is 25 years old. She's a lifelong resident of Atlanta. She tells me that she is a full-time caretaker for her grandmother, and her grandmother needs her at home. And Ms. Coleman is also a high school graduate, so she has finished school. For those reasons, I ask the court to consider my recommendation.
$1,000 good bond, no further violent contact with the alleged victim, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck, Ms. Coleman.
Next is position 8, and I believe he's going pro se, Judge.
Good afternoon, Mr. Lucier. You have been charged in case 25 CR 003049C with theft by shoplifting. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. We have offered you the assistance of a public defender this afternoon, but it's my understanding that you would like to proceed without the assistance of counsel. Is that correct, Mr. Lucier?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Yes, Ms. Harrison. I'm sorry, Mr. Howard, is there a history?
17. Last arrest was May 3rd. Theft of services out of Gwinnett. 2023 FTA. 2020 FTA. Contempt of court. 2020 and 19 ag assault. 2019 resisting an officer. The booking says resident of Texas at the top and then possibly homeless at the bottom. That's it.
Thank you. Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor, this incident occurred on April 17th. Officers were dispatched to a CVS, the address 77 Smith Street, Fairburn, Georgia. They met with the complainant, who stated that she called the police due to a male entering the store and taking items from the store. She observed him taking 2 jugs of milk out of the refrigerator door and placing it under his jacket, and also taking a bag of nuts and a Nutri-Grain bar. She valued the items at an estimated $20, but she couldn't give an exact amount of the prices. When the defendant exited the store, she followed him, took a picture of him, and told him to come back in the store. And he stated, "Do you know what color you are? I'm not coming back in there." And she called the police to file a report. She did inform the police that he had already stolen from the store earlier that day, but she didn't call the police to make a report at that time. The incidents he took in the first incident were not, she didn't make a record of that. Yeah, so at the state's recommendation is $1,000 surety bond. We're asking for a stay away from the incident location in all CVS stores permanently. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. And we did have concerns about the defendant's residential challenges. As such, we'd like to recommend a social worker visit to assist in that regard, and that'll be all for this.
Mr. Lucier, do you need some assistance with housing? If you do, then that's something that we can help you with.
No, sir. Thank you for the offer.
Okay. As such, it will be $1,000 good bond. Stay away from the CVS on
Are we
Smith
able to
Street
put forth a defense motion, sir?
in Fairburn, Georgia. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. You have a right to remain silent, Mr. Lucier. I'm happy to hear what you have to say. But just know that this is being recorded. Quite often people want to say something and it does them more harm than it does good. But if I can't stop you from speaking, if that's what you would like to do, sir.
We, the defense, put forth a motion of signature bond. The defendant is eager to see the matter resolved, has brought every legal matter set before him to conclusion, has work in the area that guarantees he is not a flight risk, and is eager to return to the work he has been torn from at a moment's notice. As the state mentioned, we've been in custody since the 2nd of May of this year. And I think that's more than ample time for a citation of shoplifting, sir.
Okay, very good. As such, the bond order stands. Good luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Position number 11, Mitchell.
Good afternoon, Ms. Mitchell. You've been charged in case 25 CR 003035F with battery, family violence, and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Mitchell on probation, battery DV. 24 SC 001322. 2022 failed to appear conviction. 2022 ag assault not prosecuted. That's it.
Mr. Siracco?
Thank you, Judge. This incident took place May 27th, 2025, at 2408 Stone Road in East Point. Law enforcement responded to a domestic dispute call and upon arrival made contact with the victim in this case, Ms. Kishana Griffin, that's KSHAWNA, who explained that the defendant, her sister with whom she resides, had gotten into a verbal altercation with her about a car. The victim went into her bedroom and closed the door, and the defendant continued to argue with her through the door. The defendant then kicked the door in to the victim's room, damaging it. The door panel, the door jamb was damaged with an estimated repair cost of roughly $220. After kicking the door in, the two began to fight physically. During that physical altercation, the defendant pulled the victim's hair out, leaving visible bald spots on the head where the hair used to be. The officer did observe some scratches on the defendant's face, but the defendant was identified as the primary aggressor here, given the kicking in of the door and the subsequent fight that ensued. Defendant admitted there was an altercation, but stated she does not recall who threw the first punch. She was then arrested. I do see, in addition to that open, that DV mentioned by pretrial, an ag assault from 2022, an arrest there. Ultimately, that case looks like it was null pros. And I see as well a conviction for failing to appear from 2022. We have spoken with the victim in this case, confirmed they are sisters. They do live together at the incident location. This was started with an argument that escalated. She called the police, she says, because she wanted to just get her belongings out of the residence. She stated that nothing like this has ever happened before, and does not want to press charges or proceed with the case. She stated she is planning to leave the residence, although we weren't given a date of when that would be. So hopefully she's online and can clarify. She states she wants no violent contact with the defendant and wants her to return to the residence. And she should be on the line. We ask the court sound for her when appropriate. The state is not comfortable with no further violent contact or her returning to the home for the time being, especially given there's not been a cooling off period, that this is not the first domestic violence case for the defendant here. We reviewed the jail calls. It sounds like the defendant received a $500 bond the last time she went to jail for family violence. State is asking for a $3,000 surety on the battery, family violence, and a $1,000 surety on the criminal trespass. Given the risk of reoffense here, we are asking for no further contact with Kishana Griffin. Stay away from 2408 Stone Road in East Point, at least until a few days after the victim moves out. Again, hopefully we'll hear from her shortly, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while on bond.
Thank you. Ms. Griffin, if you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity. I'll need for you to unmute yourself there for me, ma'am.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. If you raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down, Ms. Griffin. What would you like to tell the court?
I just want to say that although she does have a prior incident, that incident she was dealing with a man way older than her that was abusive towards her. She doesn't have any violent history before that incident. And just to say regarding our incident, yes, it did get out of hand, but we've never had no violent situation like this. This is my younger sister. I've been taking care of her this whole time. She is a new mother. I did want to say this as well. I have moved all of my things out of the home, but I am here with her child. She is a new mother. She hasn't had any violent incidents since that situation, that prior situation. All she does is go to work and take care of her 1-year-old daughter. I will no longer be staying at the residence upon her release. Given that I pray that she can get back to her child. She is a single mother. She's the only one taking. She's the primary caretaker for her child. So the situation did get out of hand between us, but she's not violent towards me. It just got out of hand between us. And as I stated, I just wanted to call the police so that I could properly just get my things out of the house without further situation between us. And I just pray that this doesn't take the chance for her to be with her child. I don't want to press charge, nothing like that. I understand what the state has asked me for, but we are sisters. I've already moved my things out of this house. Well, now this is her house. The lease is in her name. And upon being able to be released, she will be here with just her child. And I do ask that, I know that the bond price is asked to set, but rent is coming up. I will no longer be in the home. So I do ask that hopefully it can be a lesser amount so that she can still provide a roof for her child to take care of her child.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Griffin. We appreciate you being here this afternoon.
Ms. Griffin, could I ask just very briefly, what is did you say the date that you plan on moving out?
It's when she's released so that she can attend to her child because I'm with her child.
I got you. Okay, thank you. And just for clarification regarding the for this case, we are in the process of seeking a felony transfer, given this being a recidivist battery family violence case. So I just wanted to make the court and everyone aware of that.
Okay, Mr. McLean.
Your Honor, thank you. Yes, she is 25 years old. That previous case is on probation, runs through August or mid-August of this year, since the state was mid-August of last year. And it's not the same victim or alleged victim, Your Honor. They do need to swap out, I suppose. Let me mention what she does. She's a high school graduate. I'm sorry. She went through part of high school and she's working on her GED now. She has done housekeeping and she has worked in the food industry, but she does take care of that. We would ask the court to consider with appropriate conditions. Thank you.
For each charge will be a $500 good bond, makes for a total of $1,000 good bond. No further violent contact with Ms. Griffin, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond, and 1-day anger awareness. Good luck to you, Ms. Mitchell. You as well, Ms. Griffin.
Next is position 9.
What the hell that?
Good afternoon, Mr. Mercier. You have been charged in case 25 CR 003032J with giving false information to law enforcement officer, speeding, driving while your license was suspended or revoked, and expired or no license plate or decal. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
10th arrest. Open cases for ag assault, 3 counts. Possession of a knife or a firearm during the commission. Possession of nitrous oxide with the intent to distribute. Window tint is 24 PR 005901. A 2024 case for driving without a valid license. and 2 counts of suspended license. Another 2024 suspended license, 2020 disorderly conduct conviction. That's it.
Thank you. Mr. Sirocco?
Thank you, Judge. This incident took place May 28th, 2025 at I suppose it would be the intersection between Washington Road and Jackson Drive in Atlanta. Law enforcement observed the defendant driving 53 in a 40 in his vehicle. The officer conducted a traffic stop, and upon making contact with the driver, discovered through NCIC, GCIC, the vehicle had an expired registration tag that had expired earlier, the first of this month, actually. When asked to present his driver's license, defendant stated he did not have his license on his person and didn't know his driver's license number. When asked for his name and date of birth, he gave the false name of Camarion Blackman with a false date of birth of September 17th, 2002. His actual birthday is 17th of 2003. And another officer ultimately arrived and was able to confirm his ID through a scan, his actual ID. That scan also revealed that when his profile came up, he had an active misdemeanor warrant from South Fulton PD for failure to appear and a suspended driver's license that had been suspended since December of last year for failure to appear. The defendant was arrested. At that point, I see in terms of arrests that 2 separate cases for driving while license suspended or revoked. They appear to be open. Driving without a valid license appears to be open as well. But all those from 2024, FTAs from 2 in 2021, 2 in 2023, 1 in 2024, open cases for possession of pistol or revolver by a person under the age of 18. That he's being held on an FTA for that case. Also a foreign agency hold for what appears to be another FTA issued this June 21st of 2024. Also being held on probation violation for 23 SC 187758. He's got open ag assault case, possession of firearm during attempt or commission. And that's 24 SC 005386 and 24 PI 005901 is distribution of or possession with intent to distribute the nitrous oxide that pretrial mentioned. Clearly, there's a risk of both reoffense and failure to appear, given the history and all the open cases and what he's being held on. State is asking for $2,000 surety on the driving while license suspended or revoked, and $500 sureties for each of the remaining counts. No driving without a valid license and without valid tag, registration, all that. No driving, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while on bond.
Thank you, Mr. McLean.
Thank you, Your Honor. He's 21 years old, graduated from a local high school, has done landscaping for the last 5 months. Before that, traffic control on construction sites for a year, and before that, worked in a restaurant at an amusement park in Mableton. I think that realistically, with what I just heard about the FTAs and everything, that the signature bond idea would pretty much be out. We would ask the court to consider, as an alternative to the state's recommendation, a $1,000 surety bond. Thank you.
Okay, for each charge will be a $250 good bond, makes for a total of $1,000 good bond. No driving without a valid license, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, sir. Yes, Madam Interpreter, did you need my attention?
Thank you, Your Honor. If there's any possible way that we can take position number 3, I would really appreciate it.
Okay, that's fine with the court. Can we, and this is Mr.
Ricardo Casimila Claros.
Okay, And if you can raise your right hand for me, Madam Interpreter, do you swear or affirm that you will interpret from English to Spanish and Spanish to English to the best of your ability?
I do.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Claros. You have been charged in case 25 CR 003031Y with battery family violence, simple battery family violence, and 3 counts of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree.
Buenas tardes, señor Claros. Usted está aquí por el caso 25 CR003031Y. Está siendo acusado de 5 casos, 5 cargos, 2 por violencia simple doméstica y 3 por crueldad a menores.
Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Third arrest. I saw 2 arrests for illegal alien type charges. One from 2024, one from 23.
Pidió el antecedentes y indica en los antecedentes que este es su tercer arresto y que los 2 primeros arrestos tuvieron que ser por cosas de inmigración.
Sí.
Mr. Ham?
Yes, Your Honor. This case stems from an incident that happened on May 28th, 2025 at 845 Park Ridge Circle in Roswell, Georgia.
Este incidente, entonces la fiscalía ahora habla, y este incidente ocurrió el 28 de mayo en la dirección del 845 Park Ridge Road en Roswell, Georgia.
Police
¿Puedo hablar?
police
No.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Ham, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
police responded to the scene because they received a call regarding an incident that happened to Ayala Cadena. She indicated that the defendant grabbed her upper right arm and left multiple visible bruises.
Este incidente fue con la señora Annette Ayala Cárdenas, quien indicó que el acusado le tomó del brazo derecho y con fuerza que dejó moretones en el brazo.
The victim also reported that she had a large bruise on the back of her knee.
La víctima también dijo que tenía un moretón en la parte de atrás de su rodilla.
The incident was witnessed by 3 minors that were in the home.
El incidente fueron testigos de este incidente 3 niños menores de edad.
And they watched the defendant grab the victim's upper right arm and struck her behind the left knee.
Y ellos miraron al acusado agarrar a la víctima del brazo derecho y golpearle la parte de atrás de la rodilla.
The state is requesting a $500 bond on each count.
La fiscalía está pidiendo un bono de fianza de $500 por cada acusación y cada cargo.
And the state is requesting a surety bond. I apologize, Your Honor.
Y la fiscalía está buscando un bono asegurado con dinero.
We have not been able to get in contact with the victim, Ayala Cadena.
No hemos podido comunicarnos con la víctima, Ayala Cadena.
As such, as an abundance of caution, we're asking for no further contact with the victim in this case.
Y por si acaso, estamos pidiendo también que se le prohíba la comunicación y el contacto con la víctima en este caso.
And to stay away from the incident location.
Y que permanezca lejos del lugar donde ocurrió el incidente.
Which is 845 Park Ridge Circle, Apartment H in Roswell, Georgia.
El cual es de la dirección de 845 Park Ridge Circle en el apartamento H8 en Roswell, Georgia.
Even though she's not present, the state would ask that the court sound for Ms. Ayala Cadena.
Aunque ella no está presente, están pidiendo si es que por si acaso está en la llamada de Zoom y vamos a ver si es que ella está. Your Honor, would you like the interpreter to sound that?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Buenas tardes, damas y caballeros. Si es que están en la llamada de Zoom, estamos buscando a la señora Ayala Cadena. La señora Ayala Cadena, si se encuentra.
Martín. ¿Cómo está? Buenas tardes. Mira, ella no está, pero estamos los hijos, pues están los hijos de él, que según el reporte,
Madam
no sé si
Interpreter,
puedan como testigos.
You need, yes, Your Honor.
I'll need for them to come on camera and to identify themselves before they start speaking.
Okay. Martín, necesitas abrir tu cámara para poder verlos y tu micrófono antes de comenzar a hablar.
Ok, ok.
Presente, Keiner. Diga, mi nombre es Keiner.
Mi nombre es Keiner.
Buenas tardes.
Mi papá a mí nunca me ha pegado acá. No me ha hecho nada.
Oh,
¿Quién le pegó?
Y nunca le pegó a mis otros hermanos.
Un ratito. Your Honor,
Y no le pegó a
un
ella.
ratito, un segundo, Martín.
Y la noche.
Martín, un
Ya,
ratito.
Ajá.
Your Honor, Ms. Ayala Cardona is not present. These are the 3 children, minors, that were allegedly that are in the case, and that are his children. They are only Mr. Claris's children.
okay. And would you inquire as to where Miss Cardina is for me, please?
¿Saben dónde está la señora Cárdenas?
No, señora, no sabemos.
No, we don't know.
Does she live in the household at the Partridge Ridge Circle?
¿Vive ella en la dirección de Park Ridge Circle y viven ustedes ahí?
No, señora. Nosotros vimos con mi mamá.
No, no, Your Honor. We live with our mother.
Okay. Let me go to Miss Tucker, and I might be back to the Hernandez is here. Yes, Miss Tucker.
Espérate un ratito, señor Hernández, ¿ok? No hablen en este momento, ¿ok?
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Ricardo is 33 years of age, with a very limited criminal history. He is here on asylum, and he is expected to have a work permit, at a hearing scheduled for June 4th. He is currently working in landscaping. He has been in the Atlanta area for over a year now. As previously mentioned, he does have 3 children. And because of that, we are asking for a signature bond or the lowest possible bond available. He also is the name that's on the lease, I believe, at the incident location. The alleged victim does not reside in the apartment with him.
Entonces, su abogada defensora dice lo siguiente.
I'm
El
sorry.
señor Claros tiene 33 años de edad, tiene un historial muy limitado de penal, criminal. Está aquí bajo asilo y tiene una cita que tiene que ver con esa parte de inmigración el 4 de junio. Él trabaja en la yarda, vive aquí más o menos 1 año y tiene 3 hijos. Lo que estamos pidiendo es un bono de fianza únicamente con su firma o su señoría con la cantidad más baja posible. Él es la persona que está en el contrato de arrendamiento y la señora no está ahí y ya se fue, salió del departamento. Eso es lo que dijo la abogada defensora.
Okay. Nothing further. For the battery will be $1,000 good bond. For each of the other charges will be a $250 good bond. Makes for a total of a $2,000 good bond. No further contact with Miss Cardina. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
Entonces, el fallo del juez es el siguiente. Puede salir bajo fianza con una fianza, un bono de fianza asegurado con dinero. En la primera acusación por la violencia doméstica, $1,000, y por todas las otras 4 acusaciones, $250 cada una, por un total de $2,000. Durante el tiempo, una orden judicial de no tener ninguna comunicación ni contacto ninguno con la señora Cadena, y no puede usar drogas, beber bebidas alcohólicas o poseer ningún tipo de arma durante todo el tiempo que está en fianza, hasta que regrese a la corte para su caso.
We're not going to keep him away from his home or his children, but he can have no further contact whatsoever with Miss Cardina.
No lo voy a alejar de su casa ni de sus hijos, pero no puede tener ningún contacto, no contacto alguno con la señora Cadena.
Good luck to you, sir.
Ok, buena suerte, señor. Ya pueden retirarse del Zoom, la familia Hernández, gracias.
Ok, ¿puedo hacer una pregunta? Qué pena. ¿Dónde puedo pagar, no?
So the person on the screen is asking, where do I go pay?
Miss Tucker, if you want to get the contact information, I'm not sure how, if
I could ask for a number, Your Honor, here or maybe in the chat.
have them, well, even if they call the jail, I'm not sure there will be somebody there that's able to answer their question. But if we can give them the number to the jail.
Okay.
Can somebody get that for me? Okay, well, Madam Interpreter, just let him know that he's gonna have to find the number to the jail and give them a call.
Señor Hernández, necesita llamar usted a la cárcel para que le digan cómo pagar y cuándo pagar y eso. ¿Sí sabe en qué cárcel está?
Sí, muchísimas gracias. Ok.
Okay, thank you very
Listo,
much.
muchas gracias.
Espérame un ratito.
Ok.
Your Honor, I have the number.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Tengo el número, señor Hernández.
Ok, muchas gracias.
404-613-2024.
Es el 404-613-2024.
Ok, lo tengo, muchas gracias.
Okay, de nada. Thank you very much, Your Honor. And if
Thank
that's
you.
all you need from the interpreter, Your Honor, may I please be excused?
Yes, we appreciate your help this afternoon, as always. Take care. We'll see you
Thank
next
you, Your
time.
Honor. Until next time, have a good afternoon.
Do the same. Who do we have next?
Position 10, McCoy.
Good afternoon, Mr. McCoy. You have been charged in case 25 CR 003034J with 2 counts of willful obstruction of law enforcement officers, certain acts on a bus rail station that are prohibited, and possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Is there a history?
Seconds. 2020 burglary. Hold on. Let's see something. Is that a juvie arrest? Oh, they charged as an adult. Okay, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Sirocco?
Thank you, Judge. This incident took place May 28th of this year at 1400 Lee Street, Southwest in Atlanta. While on train patrol, law enforcement observed the defendant walk from one train car onto another in the absence of a bona fide emergency. He was instructed to step off the train and provide his ID while standing by. The officer actually observed a large bulge in the defendant's right pants pocket. Would appear to be the outline of a gun. advised the defendant several times to keep his hands away from the weapon. The defendant kept reaching toward the gun. Officers told the defendant to place his hands on the back of his head while backup arrived. Once they did, the officer who had to have service weapon drawn on the defendant, while another placed him or tried to place him in handcuffs. And while he was doing so, the defendant jerked away, took off running. He was caught ultimately and taken to the ground, where he began to tense up, moving his arms around to avoid being detained. After a brief struggle, they were able to ultimately gain control and handcuff him. A handgun was located in his on his person, and another one fell during the struggle while officers were trying to take him into custody. A clear bag containing suspected marijuana was located in the defendant's left pants pocket. Upon a search, innocent to arrest as well. We are asking for a signature bond through pretrial services, certainly through pretrial services. Stay away from MARTA premises and property, no drugs, alcohol, and certainly no weapons while out on bond.
Okay, and ma'am, that's on the Nokia. Are you here for this case?
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Okay.
That's my son. Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you raise your right hand for me, please, ma'am. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down. Tell me your name, ma'am.
Letitia McCoy.
And Ms. McCoy, what can you is your son's first name DeKalen?
Yes, sir.
What can you tell me about DeKalen? He's 18?
Yes, sir. He turned 18 in October. I mean, he's a good kid. He's a good kid. He's respectful. He has a job. He works with us at a deco, and they're actually excusing him for today for not coming to work. And he's not a threat to nobody. He doesn't harm anybody. He was just on the train trying to just get he rides on the train every day. Not every day, but when his girlfriend has to go to work, he'll ride with her on the train to get her to work and ride back home. And that's it.
And does he live with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and he is working?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And if I let him out, are you able to be a parental co-signer for him?
Yes, sir. I have to go to leave. Actually, we have to be to work at 4:30, but my oldest son or my uncle can co-sign. My oldest son is 21.
Okay, and who is the uncle?
Um,
Okay, you just tell me.
Randolph Williams.
Randolph Williams. So will Mr. Williams be available to go and be able to pick him up?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm gonna release him to Randolph Williams. Okay.
Will he be able to be released to my oldest son? Because my uncle doesn't.
Because say it again.
My uncle doesn't drive.
Okay. Well, can your oldest son drive him?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can work that out. I'll let Randolph Williams pick him up. Okay, and your son can drive him if
Yes,
that's
sir.
all right.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here, ma'am.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate you, Your Honor.
You're welcome, ma'am. Mr. McLean, any objections to any of the state's requests?
No objections, Your Honor. I wonder this though, do we need necessarily to get mail on Randolph Williams to do the link in advance on the cosign, or is it sufficient that he shows up and cosigns for him there?
Whichever you prefer, Mr. McLean. I think it would be easier if you got him the paperwork so that he'd have that complete before he got there.
Yeah, I just don't have an email for Randolph or for the mom. I've been calling.
Ms. McCoy, do you have an email address that we can send some paperwork to you?
Yes, sir. It's Gray, GRAY 1984 at yahoo.com.
So, Mr. Williams can expect some paperwork to come there. All right, so, for each charge, it will be 1,000.
Unless I could pick him up after work.
Okay, so, but you'll get that paperwork and we're putting on the paperwork Randolph Williams, okay?
Yes, sir. Or if he doesn't come, can I pick him up after I get off of work?
Okay, spell your first name for me.
LATISHAMCCOY.
Okay, I'll put both of your names on there, Ms. McCoy. Okay, all right. So for each charge will be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial, level 2. Abide by any MARTA suspensions, relinquish all firearms. Parental cosigner, we've already gone through that, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. All right. Good luck to you. Good luck to you all.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Number 12, Patterson.
Your Honor, with regard to Mr. Patterson, I'm in a dilemma here. I have a difficulty communicating with him to the point of almost impossibility. I've been trying the phone number for his mom. And I think I need to ask this go to tomorrow.
Okay, so do we have I saw Kasha on earlier. Did she jump off?
She's here in the courtroom now.
Okay, so Kasha, could you I guess assist and speak with him, and so Mr. McLean, you would like to place him on tomorrow's SEA calendar?
If we have any other cases ahead of him, maybe she could talk to him and we could communicate. Maybe we could go forward today. But if this is the last case, then yes, tomorrow.
We have
Okay.
2 other cases.
Blunt, did you get the add-on?
No.
They just sent it.
Okay, thank you. We were just inquiring about him.
Who is the add-on?
Terrell Benton.
Okay.
Go talk to her.
Okay.
So we can go to Mr. Torres, number 18.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Torres. You've been charged in case 25 CR 003041J with criminal trespass. Is there a history?
Fifth arrest. 2020 ag assault, possession of a knife or a firearm during the commission. That was dead docket. And before that was 1999. I think he's homeless. Jail was the wreck. He didn't have any trespass that I saw.
Thank you. Mrs. Raka?
Thank you, Judge. This incident took place May 28th, 2025 at 815 Sidney Marcus Boulevard Northeast. That is in Atlanta, and that's SIDNEY. It's the dump furniture outlet there. Law enforcement was made aware by the manager of that outlet that a group of males in the parking lot, they'd been there criminally trespassing. Upon arrival, the officer located that group of males sitting there drinking and eating. Upon identifying the suspects, it was revealed the defendant he had already received a criminal trespass warning. from March 13th, 2025 from that location. He was placed under arrest at that time. State is asking for a signature bond through pretrial services, a social worker visit for BHET, stay away from the dump furniture outlet at 815 Sidney Marcus Boulevard in Atlanta, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
Doctor?
Yes, Mr. Torres is 71 years of age. He has resided in the Atlanta area for years. He is currently homeless. He is not employed. He goes from businesses to businesses asking if there's any work he can do to get a little money, which is how he ended up incarcerated in this situation. And for that reason, and his very limited criminal history, we are asking for a signature bond.
Okay, given that Kash is there, I'd like for her to give him some information, to help him with housing. I don't want to set him up for failure by placing him on pretrial. And given that he does not have any previous criminal trespasses, I'm going to, it will be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. I speak with the social worker to assist with housing. Stay away from the dump on Sidney Marcus Boulevard, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Mr. Torres, listen, I'm going to let you out, sir, but you're going to have to make sure that you do not go back to that dump location. Otherwise, they're going to arrest you again. And we're going to see if we can get you some assistance with housing, okay? But you're going to have to make sure to stay in touch with the court so that you don't miss your next court date. I wouldn't want them putting a warrant out for you, okay? All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Torres.
We can do add-on number 1 with Terrell Benson. Just get rid of that she really talked.
Well, she already talked.
Mr. Benton, good afternoon. You have been charged in case 25 CR 003057H with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
6 adult, 2018 possession of cocaine conviction. Use of drug-related objects and a parole violation. 2015 trespass burglary conviction. 2015 criminal damage to property burglary conviction. That's it.
Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. On May 28th, officers were dispatched to 1032 Garibaldi Street about a fight in progress with weapons. Once officers were on the scene, they detained the defendant, Mr. Benton, after the victim, Mr. Melvin Rich, reported that he was struck one time in the back of the head with a gun. Mr. Benton was placed under arrest and reported that the incident started on May 23rd when his car got shot at. He heard Mr. Rich, the victim here, over the camera system in their home, speaking about the shooting the car. And he told Mr. Rich not to return to the home because he was upset with what he overheard. Mr. Rich did not pay attention to that and came back to the home. And while he was outside at his car trunk, Mr. Benton came up behind him and struck him in the back of the head with a Taurus 9mm. And it's reported that he also threw a brick towards Mr. Rich, but no contact was made. And the officers on the scene were able to recover the firearm. We did speak to the victim today. He stated he was in a relationship with Mr. Benton, and he confirmed the events in the warrant. He stated that Mr. Benton was upset over something he overheard on the camera system, and he didn't like it. When he came home, he was hit in the back of the head with a gun, and the striking him left him with a gash in the back of his head. Yeah, he said that the defendant actually called his family over to the house to shoot up the house, and they showed up to the house as police were about to pull off with the defendant. He stated that the victim has been violent towards him. This is not the first time, but it's the first time the police have been called and arrests have been made. He stated that he wants no contact with the defendant and wants the defendant to stay away from the residence. He would be okay with a one-time law enforcement escort for the defendant to retrieve his belongings. The state's recommendation on this charge, in light of the defendant's prior criminal history, we actually were trying to upgrade this case to a felony, and are waiting on the DA's response, because it's our understanding that the defendant is a convicted felon and should not have been in possession of a firearm at all. The state's recommendation is a $3,000 surety bond. We're asking to stay away from the incident location, no contact with the victim, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. And we'll sound for Mr. Rich at this time, Your Honor.
Mr. Rich is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Your Honor?
I'm doing fine, Mr. Rich. Can you raise your right hand for me, please, sir?
Yes, sir.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down, Mr. Rich. What would you like to tell the court?
Well, to be honest with you, like, I'm gonna be honest, sir. This both our cribs, so the no contact thing. I'm leaving. I'm gonna move back to Mississippi. But his name is actually on the lease, so the no contact, I can avoid that. He can come back because this is his home too. But other than that, I think I got misconstrued. I just don't want the family nowhere near me. I don't want no contact with them. They violent. I feel like they really provoked him or whatnot to do what he did because he was on the phone with them. They came over here. They raised sane and didn't know the police was outside, man. This is my first time ever being in an incident like this, so it's very confusing to me. But I don't feel like they should upgrade the felony on Terrell because, I mean, we are in a relationship and the fact that he did that to me, it was like a one-time thing. That's the first time. He'd have been violent with me in the past, but it was never to this extreme. So with that being said, he can have the house or whatnot, and I'll just leave, sir. And that's all I got to say.
All right. Thank you for being here this afternoon, Mr. Rich.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chataya?
Thank you, Your Honor. My client would like to request the lowest possible bond, $1,000 to $2,000, surety bond in the $1,000 to $2,000 range. Mr. Benton is 30 years old. He is a lifelong resident of Atlanta. He got through school as far as the 12th grade, after which he went to Job Corps. And for the past 3 years, he has worked as a crane operator and supervisor. So he does have stable employment. No objection to the no further contact order. And if what we just heard is true, then I would object to the stay away since there wouldn't be any risk there. So for those reasons, I ask the court to consider my recommendation.
Okay, will be $1,000 good bond, no further contact with Mr. Rich. He can go back to the incident location with law enforcement. If Mr. Rich is not at the residence, then he can stay. If Mr. Rich is still at the residence, then he'll have to get his belongings and find somewhere else to stay while Mr. Rich is residing there. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you both.
All right, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Sir.
We're gonna go back to number 12, Mr. Patterson. You ready?
Oh, I gotta stay on here.
Okay, what are we doing with Mr. Patterson? Mr.
We'll go ahead and go forward, Your Honor.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Patterson. You have been charged in case 25 CR 003036F with disorderly conduct and willful obstruction of law enforcement officers. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
17. On probation for robbery and ag assault. 17 SC 154006. 2023 probation, trespass. 2020 probation, 2018 probation. Hold on. Got another 2017 robbery. 2017 theft by taking, 3 counts conviction. 2012 battery, trespass conviction, and a 2010 burglary, first offender.
Mr. Rocco?
Thank you, Judge. Law enforcement, excuse me, this incident took place May 28th, 2025. It was at 100 Peachtree Street Northwest in Atlanta. Law enforcement had observed the defendant soliciting money from individuals walking on the sidewalk at the location. The officer approached the defendant, told him to keep it moving. Defendant asked the officer for money, prompting the officer again to tell him to stop asking for money and to keep moving. The defendant, appearing upset and aggressive, responded, "I'm gonna beat your ASS." While the officer approached the defendant and gave him lawful orders to stop, defendant fled on foot after being asked to get on the ground. A brief foot chase ensued. The officer caught up with the defendant near Broad Street and Walton Street, ordered the defendant to stop several times then. He ignored those orders, attempted to flee again. It wasn't until the officer deployed his taser that the defendant was ultimately able to be taken into custody here. Given the history, the state is asking for a $500 surety bond for each count. Stay away from that 100 Peachtree Street address in Atlanta. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol allowed on bond.
Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, my client's 32 years old. We have an address here. We looked up on the internet house for where he gets his mail. However, currently he is actually living in a shelter and is able to keep him food wise. He does not receive a disability. I'm going to get some with him we will get together and figure out something. I would ask the court to consider a signature bond because hopefully we will family and make sure he doesn't. I do know business about the 2017 unless there was a on in the interim, the mathematics that would have been over. It started off with a community time service date was in October 2017 with 7 years balance on probation. So that should have been over with. Although it states it's an open case, it should have been over with in October of 2024, unless there was a tolling that went on somewhere in between. So we would ask the court to consider signature bond.
Okay, for each count will be a $250 good bond, makes for a total of a $500 good bond. Stay away from the 100 Peachtree Street location. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Patterson.
Stand by, Judge. I gotta get one from the holding cell.
Okay.
Number 15, Mr. Showers.
Good afternoon, Mr. Showers. You've been charged in case 25 CR 003033G with battery. To your history, Mr. Howard.
18. Open possession of cocaine with intent. Possession of a controlled substance in drug-free commercial zone. It's 18 SC 158413. On probation, possession of a firearm by convicted felon or felony first offender. 24 SC 003908. 2023 failure to appear. 2023 trespass conviction. 2015 false imprisonment. That's it.
Ham?
Yes, Your Honor. 1 second. Yeah, this incident stems from an incident that happened on Saturday. May 24th, 2025, officers responded to 6701 Shannon Parkway at the Garden Inn Hotel, responding to a male that was bleeding from the head area. They spoke to the victim in this case, Mr. Aya Lausa, Lausa. He indicated that the defendant and himself, the victim, got into an argument about a missing dog, that the defendant and another young lady had pretty much attacked him and hit him over the head with a stick, Your Honor. Police responded to the scene where they talked to the defendant and the victim in this case, and they arrested the defendant. Based upon his history and the allegations of this, state is asking for $1,500 surety bond, Your Honor. And no further contact with the victim in this case. They have no drugs, weapons, or alcohol on his persons at any time while on probation. While on bond, Your Honor. And at this time, we have not been able to get in contact with the victim. So I would ask the sound for the victim, Afa Lausa.
If that person is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. Doesn't appear so. Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Your Honor. We are requesting the lowest amount in a surety bond. Mr. Showers is 36 years of age. He's lived in the metro Atlanta area for most of his life. He has his GED and has completed some college. He is not currently employed, and he has requested a visit from social services regarding his housing situation. So we are requesting the lowest possible bond for him. Thank you.
Ryan has his hand up. Ms. Tucker, I don't know if you want to address him before I. Mr. Showers, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. If you need to speak with Ms. Tucker, I'm happy to give you that opportunity.
Do you need to speak with me separately?
I'm not who I speak with, you know what I'm saying? Cause I can more speak through, you know what I'm saying? I didn't attack anyone with any weapon.
Okay,
Is
all
it
right. So,
regarding the
Mr.
bond specifically?
I just, whatever's going on, I just want to, you feel me? Like, do things. So
Okay.
I'm
Thank you, Mr. Showers. All right, it'll be a $500 good bond. No further contact with the alleged victim. Stay away from the incident location. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Showers. And if Ms. Tucker, if you can contact him after court to answer any questions that he might have.
Yes, Your Honor.
Courtroom 2, position number 17. What are we doing with Mr. Tillman?
Mr. Tillman, reset.
Okay, so reset until tomorrow, 5:30. Okay, so I think that concludes the 2 o'clock calendar. If so, Ms. Bridgewater, whenever you're ready for us.
If we can, Your Honor, I apologize. There was someone we had on the poll sheet, a Kenyon Benton, that I'm not sure if we addressed that
Bonded
case.
out.
Bonded out?
Yeah, I
Thank
just
you.
looked that up in Odyssey.
All right, thank you.
Okay, once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is June the 12th. Position number 1 is reset to the SAP calendar with a total $2,000 good bond. Position 2 is reset further notice with a total $4,000 SOB through pretrial with co-signers either Michael Bancraft or Jan Bancraft. Position number 3 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $2,000 good bond. Position 4 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. Position 5 is, reset further notice with a total $4,000 SOB through pretrial with a co-signer of Lynette Fowler. Position 6, SAP calendar with a total $2,000 good bond. Position 7, reset further notice with a total $4,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 8 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. Position 9 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $1,000 good bond. Position 10 is reset further notice with a total $4,000 SOB through pretrial, with co-signers being either Letitia McCoy or Randolph Williams. Position 11, SAP calendar with a total $1,000 good bond. 12, SAP calendar with a total $500 good bond. 13, reset further notice with a total $4,000 SOB through pretrial. 14, SAP calendar with a total $2,500 good bond. 15, SAP calendar with a $500 good bond. 16, SAP calendar with a total $750 good bond. 17 is being reset till tomorrow. 18, reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. 19, SAP calendar with a $500 good bond. And for the add-on, it will be going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
If not, thank you all. Have a good rest of your day. We'll see you next time.
Okay, take care, everyone.
Thank you, Judge. Bye all.
Goodbye.